japa, either positive or negative. Our phone lines are open 24 hours. We're ready to take your calls. It's just a discussion. You don't have to say anything fancy, just express whatever you're thinking. Who has the mics now? Okay, who would like to start the conversation? Go ahead, Part. Rajara's Bhavana volunteered you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. When I was staying at the ashram, it gave me a lot more time to really focus on...
He was in the ashram in New York City.
Yeah, I was staying at the ashram in New York City for 2 weeks. It gave me a lot more time to focus on chanting because we had 2 hours set aside for chanting in the morning. I'm also not used to chanting in the morning. Normally I chant after I'm done with all my studies in the evening, after dinner. So I really noticed that it was easier for me to focus because there weren't as many distractions. Nobody's texting me at 5 a.m. in the morning, and especially chanting with other people helped a lot because seeing other people focused made me not want to become distracted because they can easily see I'm getting distracted. So I think chanting in a group also really helped me, but I really used your forced meditation tactics as much as I can, and I try to set smaller goals that are like, make sure you chant or you focus for like the next 10 or 20 beads instead of the whole round, because it's a lot easier to focus for 30 seconds at a time than it is for the next 8 minutes. So.
You could write a book. Really nice realizations and very helpful. Thank you. What we're doing, we're discussing, sharing realizations about japa. Okay. Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
11 times I chant after dinner.
You chant after dinner? 11 times. 11 times you chant after dinner? I like that a lot. Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. Very good, very good. This is a period discussing japa realizations. How does it feel? What are the delimiting factors? What holds you back? Which parts do you find hard? What parts inspire you? Japa discussion. Akshar Nitai. Mayank, good to see you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Something I was going through recently was noticing that maybe a sense of apathy towards my chanting, even if I functionally know why I should feel gratitude.
Look up the word apathy.
And all the reasons are there for me to have maybe a good session of japa, whether I've woken up early or I feel like I've set my sankalpa correctly and done whatever I need to do to get in the position to chant. But after some time while I'm chanting, it feels stale. And obviously I can relate that with the verse which talks about us having the jaundice of avidya and needing to continuously engage with the holy name to eventually get past that so I can taste the sweetness. But it still feels disheartening to a certain extent. Maybe I'm not setting myself with the right mindset so I can feel gratitude while I'm chanting. These types of thoughts come through my mind. So is there any...
Thank you for sharing, Akshar. Can anybody relate to what he was saying? Yes. Go ahead, share.
I was going to share a realization. So it feels nice when you do chanting because it also helps you focus. And when you're chanting, you have like a conversation with Krishna. Like Krishna's listening to everything you're saying.
Very personal, the way you put it. Very personal. Thank you. Shweta Manjari.
Hare Krishna, I found the phrase that you say often, that live to be corrected. a lot easier said than done. But one thing that I found very helpful was His Holiness Haldar Maharaj mentions that we're fallen, degraded, conditioned souls. And so when I have a fault and it is pointed out to me or I see it, it's just an opportunity for me to beg the holy name for empowerment. And I feel I have many faults. So there's many opportunities to find something to beg the holy name about. And I think it's just so nice that it'll be given, like there'll be reciprocation. I'll be fixed.
Who can give a verse that might indicate the empowerment you'd get from chanting the holy name of the Lord? What kind of empowerment could you get from chanting japa, and what verse might indicate that? Yes, Brajaras Pavana.
There's that one verse that says that by doing devotional service, one gets the qualities of the demigods. I'm forgetting how it's.
Yes, bhakti bhagavati akinchana sarva gunastastat samasate sura harava bhakta sukhato mahadguna manoratena sitidavato bahi. Would you like to expound on it?
I just found that relevant to this conversation because by doing devotional service, one gets the qualities of demigods, and they're demigods. They're the leaders of the universe, and so they have very good qualities. And just by chanting, by doing devotional service, without like going through like a self-help book or something, one automatically gets realizations to get there. And I remember speaking to you about this, and you said that it doesn't like happen exactly automatically, but rather the chanting gives us the direction to find our own faults and to improve ourselves because we want to please the devotees and we want to please Krishna. So it actually gives us awareness for us to improve. And so that relates to what Shweta Mata.
That was powerful. Thank you very much. Thank you. Okay. One last comment, or you can give a verse. Favorite verse about chanting? Okay, she's next. Okay, 1, 2. Okay, you go because you got the microphone.
Loudly.
Namaste
Krishna's
Krishna
Chaitanya
Chaitanya Krasa Vigraha Purna Shodha Nikta Mukta Venatam Namane Vaneha.
Very much to the point. As an excellent choice of verses. That points out, I feel the same way. I wish I had started that at the age. That verse points out that Krishna is fully alive and present in his name. There's no difference at all between Krishna and his name. Well done. Okay, Shastra Sar for the close, which will lead to a new beginning. Go ahead.
Speaking about the subject of the holy name, like filling in for faults and empowering us, I was reminded of a verse from Padyavali about the name of Krishna. The verse is as follows. Kalyananam nidhanam kalimala mathanam pavanam pavananam pateyam yan mumuksho sapadi parapada praptaye prochyamanam Vishramasthanamekam kavivaravachasam jivanam sajjananam bijam dharmadrumasya prabhavatu bhavatam bhutaye Krishna nama. May Krishna's holy name, which is a reservoir of all transcendental happiness, the destruction of Kali Yuga's sins, the most purifying of all purifying things, the saintly person's food as he traverses the path to the spiritual world, the pleasure garden where the voices of the greatest saints, philosophers, and poets play, the life of the righteous, and the seed of the tree of religion, bring transcendental auspiciousness to you all.
Now, what was the raga you were singing?
It's just the meter I've heard many devotees recite this meter. And
Can you play that? Sing it? Hum it?
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha.
Same all the way through, no part two, like next higher. Modulate to come to the next. Anyway, let's work on it. Record that. It's something we can keep. I'd like to explore it more and see if there's another part to it. Just like when we do our chant, our Mangala Charana from the Chaitanya Charitamrita, we do it 3 levels, right? Can we investigate? Do you want to investigate? Okay, homework. Thank you for bringing that beautiful verse. Well, we've heard something about japa. Let's try a little bit. So, the goal tonight, we're going to chant 20 Mahamantras together. And the goal will be, what Part said, got to make it small parts and try to stay completely focused. We're going to chant 21, and we'll chant 3 at a time. We'll compartmentalize 3 at a time. We'll be fully aware of 3, and then another 3, another 3, times 7. Okay, ready? Jaya Shri Krishna. Do the new tune though. First Shri Krishna Jai. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Vasari Gaura Bhaktavin. That's a hit. It's definitely a hit. Ready? Everyone ready? Did you bring your hand with you? If you brought your hand with you, raise your hand. If you didn't bring your hand with you, don't raise your hand. Okay, ready? Ready? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Okay, repeat after me. Japa is good. Correct. And now we're going to take a visit to Naimisaranya forest. Are you ready? Who would like to live in an ashram in the forest? 1, 2, you're coming? Good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Ashram in the forest? Get you something uptown New York? 12, 13, 14. Okay. Put on a soundtrack. Find a soundtrack with some birds and animals. Quick. Within 30 seconds. Something on YouTube. Should be easy to find. And we're going to chant our Sri Upanishad. So we've all just woken up before the sunrise in the Naimisaranya forest. Little forest music. And the sun hasn't risen yet, but we all went to the sacred Bhargavi River. We took bath, and we put on fresh cloth and tilak, and we sat down together to chant our mantras. You ready? Here we are in the forest. Dim the lights a little, the sun hasn't come up yet. Forest, Naimisaranya. Be there. You're in an ashram. No other worries except entering into the sacred sound vibration of the mantra. Oh, Sri Upanishad. Oh, Purnamada, Purnamidam, Purnamudachyate, Purnasya Purnamadaya, Purnameva Vishishyate. Ishavashyam vidam sarvam yatkinja jagatyam jagat hena tyakpena bunjita magridakasya srijanam kurvaneveha karmani jijivishekshakam samaha evam tvainam yatetosti nakarma lipyate nare asuryanamate loka andhena tamasavritaha tamste pritya vigashanti yeke chakma hanojanaha anejadekam manaso jaliyo Naina Deva Abhuvan Purvamarsha Tadhavato Nyamityeti Tishtad Tasmin Apo Mata Vishva Dadati Tarejati Tannaijati Tadure Tadvantike Tadantarasya Sarvasya Taru Sarvasyasya Bhayataha Yastu Sarvani Bhutani Atmanyeva Rupashyati Sarva Bhuteshu Chatmanam Tato Navijagutsate Yasmin Sarvani Bhutani Atmaiva Buddhijanataha Tatra Ko Mohakashoka Ekatvam Anupashyataha Saparyagashtupram Makayam Avranam Asnaviram Shuddham Apapavidham Kavir Manishi Haribu Swayambur Yatha Khatyatortan Yadadashasvati Vyasamabhyaha Andantama Pravishyanti Ye Vidyamupasate Tato Bhukya Ivate Tamo Ya Uvidyayam Rataha Anyadevahur Vidyaya Anyarahura Vidyaya Iti Shushrumadhiranam Enastad Vichichakshire Vidyam cha yas Tadvedo bhayam saha Avidyayam ritum tirtva Vidyayam ritum ashrute Andam Tama Pravishyanti Ye Sambhutim Upasate Tato Bhuya Ivate Tamo Ya Usambhutyam Rataha Anyareva Husambhavad Anyarahura Sambhavad Iti Shushu Madhiranam Yenasta Vichichakshire Sambhutim Vedo Bhayam Saha Vinashena Mritun Tirtva Sambhutyam Mritum Ashnute Hiranmayena Patrena Satyasya Pihitam Mukham Tattvam Pusham Apavranu Satya Dharmaya Drishtaye Pushane Karshe Yama Surya Prajapatya Vyuha Rashmin Samuha Tejo Yate Rupam Kalyanatamam Tete Pashyami Yosavasau Purushasohamasmi Vayuranilam Amritam Atedam Basmantam Shariram Om Kratos Smara Kritam Smara Kratos Smara Kritam Smara Agnelaya Supadaraya Sman Vishvani Deva Valinani Vidvan Yuyojasmashuhadanameno Vuyishtante Namahutim Videva Shri Ishupanishad Sampurnam Hare Om. Now change it to a babbling brook. Because we're sitting by the Jamuna in Vrindavan, and we're going to chant Rupa Goswami's sacred verses from the Upadeshamrita. Babbling brook. Jamuna. Vacho vegam manasakrodha vegam Chitva vegam udaropasta vegam Etam vegam yogishaheta tira Sarvam apimam prithivim nasishyat Tatyahara prayashascha prajalpo niyamagraha Jana sangascha lavyamcha Shadbhir bhakti vinashyati Utsahan nishtaya dharya Tat tat karma pravartana Sangatyagat sato vrite Shadbhir bhakti prasiddhyati Dati pratigrinnati Bhuyamakati prishtati Bhukdevo jayate chaiva Shadvidam priti lakshanam Krishneti yasya giritam manasadriyeta Ikshasti chet pranati pisha bhajantamisham Shushrushraya bhajana vignamananyamanya Nindari shunya hridadipsita sangaladya Drishtai sabhava janitar vapushascha doshair Na prakritakvamiha yadanasya pashyet Gangam basamna kalu buddha pena pankar Brahmadravakvam apakachati niradharmai Syat Krishna nama charitari sikatya vidya Pito pataka rasanasya narochikanu Kintva varadanudilam kalu saiva chushta Swadvikramad bhavati tat gadamulahantri Nama rupa charitari sukirtananu Smrityo pranena rasanama nasini yojya Tishtam brajetananuragi jananugami Kalam nayeda kilamityupadesha sadam Vaikuntascha hito varamarupuri tatrapira sotsavat Vrindaganya mudara paniramana tatrapi govardhanaha Radha kunda vihati gokulapate Premamrita lavanat Uryarasya virajato Kiritate srivam vivekinakaha Karnibhya parito hare priyataya Yaktim yayurjaninas Tejo jnana vimukta bhakti parama Premaika nishtastata Tevyasta pashupala pankada drisha Tabyo pisaradika Krishta tadvadiyam tadiya sarasi Tam nashayet kakriti Krishnas yochchai pranayamastati Priyasidhyo piradha Kundam chasya munibir abhitastadrige vavyatayi Yapreshter apyavam asulabam kim punar bhakti bhajam Tapremedam sakrit api sarasnatur abhishkaroti Shri Upadeshamrita Samburnam Radhe Shyam. Krishna, 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 hey! Krishna, 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 hey! Krishna, 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 Rama. Krishna, 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 Pahi Mam. Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rama Raghava, Rakshama. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Pahi Mam. One more time. Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Krishna Keshava, Pahi Mam. Krishna Keshava, Pahi Mam. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. We're continuing our reading of Krishna book. What kind of background do we need for this? A drone? Do you have a drone? Nice drone C. Middle C drone. Everybody ready? Okay, lean in like this. Like this. Very good. Sadhus, Naimisharanya. Cello drone. C. Volume down. Down, down. One more down, one more. One more up. Okay, that's it. Continuing our reading of Krishna book. Vasudeva thus requested Kamsa not to be envious of his newly married sister. One should not be envious of anyone, because envy is the cause of fear both in this world and in the next, when one is before Yamaraj, the Lord of punishment after death. Vasudeva appealed to Kamsa on behalf of Devaki, stating that she was his younger sister. He also appealed at an auspicious moment, at the time of marriage. A younger sister or brother is supposed to be protected as one's child. The position is overall so delicate, Vasudeva reasoned, that if you kill her, it will go against your high reputation. In this way, Vasudeva tried to pacify Kamsa by good instruction, as well as by philosophical discrimination. But Kamsa was not to be pacified because his association was demoniac. Because of his demoniac association, he was a demon, although born in a very high royal family. A demon never cares for any good instruction. He is just like a determined thief. One can give him moral instruction, but it will not be effective. Similarly, those who are demoniac or atheistic by nature can hardly assimilate any good instruction, however authorized it may be. That is the difference between demigods and demons. Those who can accept good instructions and try to live their lives in that way are called demigods, and those who are unable to take such good instruction are called demons. Failing in his attempt to pacify Kamsa, Vasudeva wondered how he would protect his wife, Devaki, when there is imminent danger. An intelligent person should try to avoid the dangerous position as far as possible. But if, in spite of endeavoring by all intelligence, one fails to avoid the dangerous position, there is no fault on his part. One should try his best to execute his duties. But if the attempt fails, he is not at fault. Vasudeva thought of his wife as follows: for the present, let me save the life of Devaki. Then later on, if there are children, I shall see how to save them. He further thought, if in the future I get a child who can kill Kamsa, just as Kamsa is thinking, then both Devaki and the child will be saved because the law of providence is inconceivable. But now, some way or another, let me save the life of Devaki. There is no certainty how a living entity contacts a certain type of body, just as there is no certainty how a blazing fire comes in contact with a certain type of wood in the forest. When there is a forest fire, it is experienced that the blazing fire sometimes leaps over one tree and catches another by the influence of the wind. Similarly, a living entity may be very careful in the matter of executing his duties, but it is still very difficult for him to know what type of body he is going to get in the next life. Maharaj Bharat was very faithfully executing the duties of self-realization, but by chance he developed temporary affection for a deer, and in his next life he had to accept the body of a deer. Vasudeva, after deliberating on how to save his wife, began to speak to Kamsa with great respect, although Kamsa was the most sinful man. Sometimes it happens that a most virtuous person like Vasudeva has to flatter a person like Kamsa, a most vicious person. That is the way of all diplomatic transactions. Although Vasudeva was deeply aggrieved, he smiled outwardly. He addressed the shameless Kamsa in that way because he was so atrocious. Vasudeva said to Kamsa, "My dear brother-in-law, please consider that you have no danger from your sister. You are awaiting some danger because you have heard a prophetic voice in the sky. But the danger is to come from the sons of your sister, who are not present now, and who knows, there may or may not be sons in the future. Considering all this, you are safe for the present, nor is there cause of fear from your sister. If there are any sons born of her, I promise that I shall present all of them to you for necessary action." Kamsa knew the value of Vasudeva's word of honor, and he was convinced by his argument. For the time being, he desisted from the heinous killing of his sister. Thus Vasudeva was pleased and praised the decision of Kamsa. In this way, he returned to his home. Each year thereafter, in due course of time, Devaki gave birth to a child. Thus she gave birth to 8 male children, as well as 1 daughter. When the first son was born, Vasudeva kept his word of honor and immediately brought the child before Kamsa. It is said that Vasudeva was very much elevated and famous for his word of honor, and he wanted to maintain this fame. Although it was very painful for Vasudeva to hand over the newly born child, Kamsa was very glad to receive him, but he became a little compassionate with the behavior of Vasudeva. This event is very exemplary. For a great soul like Vasudeva, there is nothing considered to be painful in the course of discharging one's duty. A learned person like Vasudeva carries out his duties without hesitation. On the other hand, a demon like Kamsa never hesitates in committing any abominable action. It is said, therefore, that a saintly person can tolerate all kinds of miserable conditions of life. A learned man can discharge his duties without awaiting favorable circumstances. A heinous person like Kamsa can act in any sinful way, and a devotee can sacrifice everything to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Kamsa became satisfied by the action of Vasudeva. He was surprised to see Vasudeva keeping his promise, and being compassionate upon him and pleased, he began to speak as follows. My dear Vasudeva, you need not present this child to me. I'm not in danger from this child. I have heard that the 8th child born of you and Devaki will kill me. Why should I accept this child unnecessarily? You could take him back. When Vasudeva was returning home with his firstborn child, although he was pleased by the behavior of Kamsa, he could not believe in him because he knew that Kamsa was uncontrolled. An atheistic person cannot be firm in his word of honor. One who cannot control the senses cannot be steady in his determination. The great politician Chanakya Pandit said, "Never put your trust in a diplomat or a woman. Those who are addicted to unrestricted sense gratification can never be truthful, nor can they be trusted with any faith." At that time, the great sage Narada came to Kamsa. He was informed of Kamsa's becoming compassionate to Vasudeva and returning his firstborn child. Narada was very eager to accelerate the descent of Lord Krishna as soon as possible. He therefore informed Kamsa that in Vrindavan, personalities like Nanda Maharaj and all the other cowherd men and their wives, and on the other side Vasudeva, his father Shurasena, and all of his relatives born in the family of Vrishni, of the Yadu dynasty, along with all their friends and well-wishers, were actually demigods. Narada warned Kamsa to be careful of them, since Kamsa and his friends and advisors were all demons. Demons are always afraid of demigods. After being thus informed by Narada about the appearance of the demigods in different families, Kamsa at once became very much alarmed. He understood that since the demigods had already appeared, Lord Vishnu must be coming soon. He at once arrested both his brother-in-law Vasudeva and Devaki and put them behind prison bars. And thus ends this evening's reading of Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Gopremanande. Game break.
Haribol, everyone. This is thank you for that. When Marge said game time, I didn't see any of the kids that excited, so I was a little afraid to come up here. So can I get a little bit more excitement in the room? That's much, much better. Thank you all. So today's game is the emoji game, and on every slide that you'll see soon on the screen, there will be emojis corresponding to a particular pastime or particular story. So all of the answers will be free for all, so be creative, but also don't shout out mindlessly. Give it a thought. And with that, let's start with the first slide. Oh, sorry.
Stop people going fire hell.
I'm hearing Prahlad and Nrsingadev not on the right track at all. Raja, you can just shout out. No.
Can they take the microphone?
Would you like
Mic to the people?
take the mic? Okay, we're going to try again, but this time instead of shouting out, we're going to use the mics. So just raise your hand and we'll try to be quick with it. Yeah, Vaish.
Krishna killing the fire demon.
No.
Demon?
Okay.
Is it demon?
Sorry? A demon. Is it a demon? Are you asking a question? Okay. Yes, it is a demon. No, it's not a demon. Sorry. Okay, a hint is it's from the Ramayana. We have some exciting guesses. Oh, please go ahead. Oh, wait. He was ready. Okay, wait. Wait, give him the mic. We pass the mic over.
Go. You got it. Back the wrong horse.
Rama killing the fire demon? Tataka. Rama killing Tataka.
Wait.
Or Lakshman. Sorry, Lakshman. Rama killing Tataka.
No. So just to help you all out, the emojis look a little different because on here we did it on a Mac, Apple, but here it looks like Android. So that's just a disclaimer. But it is from the Ramayana, so let's give out one more guess and then we'll reveal the answer. Ambarish? Arman, you want to pass the mic to Ambarish? Shh. We're going to try using the mics instead of shouting out. I apologize for that.
It's Lakshman drawing the line, right? And Sita.
Yes. Haribo. Oh. Ah. It's okay. Okay.
Krishna dancing on the...
Okay, we're gonna try to bring the room back together. Sorry, I heard someone say yes, it was the right answer, and I didn't double check, but I will double check. So let's get some quiet in the room. Shh. Okay, so for the next one, we have Raja.
Krishna dancing on Kaliya and Kaliya's wife's begging him to let him go.
Yes. Good job. Quick.
It's Krishna lifting Govardhan when Indra was...
Yes. Haribo. Okay, let's not try to shout out the answer. Instead, whoever's raising their hand quickly will get the mic.
Rahul?
No. Good guess. One guess. Okay.
Is it Krishna being born on a full moon night?
Yes, close though. Close. Almost. Sveta.
Mahaprabhu being born?
Say it in the mic.
Oh.
Shh.
Mahaprabhu being born on a full moon?
Yes. Okay, for the next few... Okay, so here's a really important thing. For the next few slides that are coming up, we're going to just hand the mic and we're going to give one guess. So let's not shout it out and let's just give that person who has the mic, let them have the guess. All right, and Parth will be handing out the mic.
Varaha saving the world?
Yeah, close, but it's the same. Yeah, that's right. Haribo. Okay. This one's a little difficult, but let's try two guesses, and then after the first one, I'll give you a hint. Okay. So if you try to look at the three emojis at the bottom, what does it remind you of? What deity?
Jagannath.
Exactly. So with that being said, Mataji, you can make a guess.
Yeah, Gauranga at the Puri Jagannath temple, and he falls near the ocean.
Yeah,
He
faints.
swoons near the
Yes.
ocean.
So is it Krishna killing Durnavartika?
Yes. Haribo. Okay, this one's a little difficult, but I'm sure you all can guess it.
Is this when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu?
1 second, the mic is with Shravan, so he's going to answer.
Is this when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had the chant, the Harinam, and then went to the Kazi's palace?
Yes. Haribo. All right, any takers for this one? Shh. There's one here as well. Radhika has a guess.
Is it Sudama giving the chip rice to Krishna?
Yes. This is Sudama offering chipped rice. Shh. Shh. All right. We're going to try to move on to the next one, but let's try to recollect ourselves every time so we can hear the answers. Shh. This is so nice. I like the quiet. Okay. Any guesses? Raise your hands. Try not to shout it out.
Gasara?
No. Not quite. We'll give one more try. Oh. Mataji, give Mataji the mic because she almost said it.
He's going to die in 7 days, the Parikshit Maharaj passed.
Yes. Haribo. Any takers? Shh. Yes, Aradhya.
Krishna was dressed up as the gopis.
Close. Very, very close.
Oh, he took the clothes from the Yamuna while
Yes.
they were taking back.
Good job, Aradhya. Okay. Any takers? Parth, you can take it.
It's Draupadi's Swayamvar, and then Arjuna married her.
Not quite. You're right about some part of it. You'll see the ends. We'll try one more guess.
Adding on to what Naina said, they had to shoot the arrow at the fish's eye.
This is not that pastime, but it does relate to Arjuna and somebody else. Okay, Brajaras Bhavana looks really enthusiastic.
Is it Arjuna kidnapping Subhadra?
Yes. Haribo.
Is it Hanuman when he was a baby? He thought that the sun was a mango and he tried to eat it, aka that guy.
Yeah, you're right. Good job. Close. Okay, this one was already said by Anvaya, so we'll just give her the mic again to say it. You want to say it really quickly?
For Draupadi I forgot. Swayamvaru.
Yes.
Arjuna had to shoot the arrow to the fish's eye.
Yes, exactly. Thank you. Okay. Shh. Everyone.
The Pandavas lost a game of dice, and Draupadi gets dragged down to where the court, and one of the people starts pulling on her sari, and Krishna helps her, and she has this unlimited supply of sari cloth.
Yes. That's right. Okay, so the last emoji here isn't showing, but it's a flute. It's a flute. It's a flute. It's supposed to be.
It reminds me like when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a little boy, one Brahman came and offered food. Again, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ate that food and again he cooked. I remember that pastime. But
Not exactly.
Okay.
I'll give a hint. It has to do with, I don't know what to give it. I'll say it has to do with kheer. And that gives it a lot away. Brajaras Bhavana or Prabhu as well. Any takers?
Kirichur Gopinath.
Yes, Madhavendra Puri and Kirchur receiving kheer from Gopinath. Okay, so the last few. Haribol, everyone. If you can hear me, raise your hand and say shh. Okay, so the last few we'll try to rapid fire and we'll just do one guess. And so let's try to be quick. Please try not to shout the answer. If you have the mic, you can speak.
Mahaprabhu taking sannyas and shaving his head and the barber comes.
Okay, this one's a little tricky. Just remember you have one guess, so if you're really confident, give it a shot. It has to do with Mahaprabhu. Brajaras Bhavana. Or any other devotee.
Kolavecha Sridhar.
Yes. Haribo. Okay.
Here, Mataji, I heard it from you. It's on.
Is Haridas Thakur delivering the prostitute?
Yes. Haribo. Oh. Anshu.
The pastime when a sparrow tries to drown out the ocean to save her eggs, but then Garuda comes and helps her.
Right on. Correct. Okay. Any guesses? Remember, you only have one guess. So if you'd like a hint, I can give a hint. Do you want to give a hint? Give a hint. It has to do with Mahabharat.
Draupadi's Akshay Patra?
Yes. Haribo. Okay, this is your last one. And it can be really confusing, but also straight to the point. And actually, the emoji is very fitting too. Like the blue, I mean.
You sure?
Okay, Brajaras. Or Mataji, sorry. Vaisesika or Mataji, yes.
Is it the one where Srila Prabhupada goes into his first home that's haunted? And
No.
he chants?
No. Oh, Raj or Vrindaranya. Vrindaranya. She hasn't spoken yet.
It's how Guru Maharaj came in touch with Krishna consciousness when his friend gave him a book at his door.
Yes. That was a tricky one, and it was definitely to throw all of you off. But that wraps up our emoji game, and then we'll head back to the schedule.
This should be the new SATs. Would he like to make it himself? If anyone would like to score more points, we'll take 5 volunteers who would like to walk in the kitchen and get their picture taken. And you'll score points. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Plus, you got to clean when you get in there, too. Anybody else? Just for a few minutes cleaning. They need your help in there. Please. Thank you very much, everyone. Here you go. You do get your picture taken, though, and extra points. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaudavani Prasharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Charine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda. Lights down a little bit, lights down a little bit. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Krishna Krishna Hare
Bolo, bolo.
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare. Gaur Premanande, Nita Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nita Gaura Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya.
And now so we have some time for some sharing. Sharing means caring. It's really important in a relationship anywhere that we go through things together. And part of that is working through problems. Inevitably, there'll be differences of opinion from individuals, and then individuals can form sides. And to the degree that we can communicate in ways that are high-minded, that would be appreciated by Krishna or Lord Chaitanya or any of the great devotees, even though we may feel sometimes disrespected or misunderstood, Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita says, don't become your enemy's enemy or overreact, but take it as the ways that human interaction is always somewhat complicated, and there are modulations, that is the modes of nature working, maybe influenced in different ways to think or assume things that aren't true. So it's much more efficient to be equal-minded, even when there's adversity or difference of opinion. And one of the ways to work through such things is to discuss them and try to understand the other person's point of view, even if you agree to disagree. In a community of Vaishnavas, we do it respectfully, and at the end we offer obeisances and show respect, remembering that, as Prabhupada once said in a letter to a devotee who represented or was part of a group that felt exclusively qualified, or that their leader of their particular group within the corpus of ISKCON was more qualified than others. And Prabhupada had said that everyone that was following the process anywhere, sincerely trying, he said each one of them, they're better than kings. And he also said they're all pure devotees. So I just thought I'd mention that because we have a community that is expanding, and it is robust. And it's inevitable that there will be incidents. And it's to the degree at which we're willing to work through individual incidents and major disagreements or missteps, that we cohese as a community and that we get stronger. No community is instantly formed. It takes years of association and learning how to get along and communicate. And that's our great wealth, because when we're held together by our association, then we can withstand storms, difficult times together. I hope I didn't ruin it for everybody by making it too somber of a speech. Anyway, I just thought I'd mention that as a preamble. You don't have to say anything that relates to that at all, but if you want to share something, my main point was, it's good to talk about things. And this is kind of an ishtagoshti, where we can discuss in the context of Krishna consciousness what we're thinking, going through. If you have a complaint, if you have a concern, if you have something that's inspiring you, whatever it may be, please share. Yes, Prabhu. 1, 2. If you have the other one, you can give it to.
Maharaj, in addition to what you're saying, I was remembering one pastime of our Guru Maharaj, Holiness Radhanath Swami Maharaj, speaking to Shankaranand Prabhu, and he shared this pastime. One devotee maybe misbehaved, and one Prabhuji reacted to that maybe in many ways correctly, but later on when that Prabhuji met Radhanath Swami Maharaj, Maharaj said, what you did is right. But I want you to be better than right. I want you to be a Vaishnava. So you must see beyond those mistakes, maybe deal with them on a practical level, but see beyond those mistakes. And I was also thinking how in Kali Yuga, Kalaha, so every small difference seems like a big, very important, and fights are very easy to come by. And one of the austerities of a community and the strength of the community is in seeing good of each other and forgiving those shortcomings, knowing well that in Kali Yuga these are very obvious. Guru Maharaj, he says, Prabhupada also quotes, any fool can find faults. It takes greatness to find good in others. So I was just remembering some of those points.
There's a point similar to that in the 11th canto purport to one of the verses about Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Jayam Sada Paribhavagnama Bishtadoham, in which Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, it's inevitable in Kali Yuga that people will be affected by worldliness. And therefore, we shouldn't be too disappointed in ourselves or in others when that happens, because the age itself is an ocean of faults. But we can see the one good quality, especially if somebody's chanting Hare Krishna and they go on with it. Then Krishna mentions Apichet Sudaracharo. Please, your turn.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for the wonderful class and nice kirtan. Thank you, Maharaj. I'm struggling with so much of my japa. I have a question to ask you, Maharaj. While I'm doing my japa rounds, so my mind is wandering, so I'm forcefully bringing back my mind to hear the mantra again and again. I'm trying, but after a couple of rounds, I am tired of asking my mind to get back to the mantra. And I really wanted to finish my rounds. Very bad japa I am doing rest of the rounds. How can we improve more to bring back the mind again and again for 16 rounds? I mean prescribed rounds. My mind is saying, you're tired. I don't know how to help myself.
16 rounds is daily is a Herculean effort, and it requires practice and mercy. So do a lot of practice. Don't be disappointed if you can get to 2 rounds and feel energetic, and then you have to finish the other 14 the best you can. And somehow or other pray that you can get one more mantra out of that 14. Then try for getting to the point where you can do 2.5 rounds where you're at that point. It's like any discipline, you have to stair-step your way up. Controlling the mind is the most difficult thing to do, and it requires practice and a lot of practice. If you do it consistently and you keep doing it, there will come a time when you feel like you don't want to stop chanting japa, and 16 isn't enough. So keep doing it. You're doing the right thing, and it takes the fact that you can do 2 where you feel energetic. And we looked up the word apathy before, because who else brought it up? Yeah, Akshara Nitai brought it up about similar point. What does apathy mean?
Apathy is a noun from the 16th century, which means freedom from suffering, passionless existence, from French apathy, and also from Greek, which means freedom from suffering, impassibility, and want of sensation. The A means without, and then pathos, which means emotion, feeling, and suffering, originally from the Proto-Indo-European root quent, which means to suffer. So
you don't have if you chant, you don't have any feeling because your mind feels blasé, and you'll perhaps be happy to know that it's noted in Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's instructions on advancement in devotional service. There's a point at which you may encounter apathy, because although you're not distracted and although you're not sleepy, you just don't have a feeling for it. And he recommends that you continue practicing because it's a kind of anartha that you can overcome. And it's good to know that, because if you just think I'll always be like this, if you started playing the violin and you thought I'm always going to be screechy, scrunchy when I play, then you might give up. But if you realize that if you practice for 6 months, you might get one clear note, and then you might get another one after that. Is that true? Then you'll be inspired and you keep going. So don't worry. Masuchaha. Who is next? Where's Gopal? Hey, Gopal.
This is kind of a general question, and it applies. I feel like I've noticed it in many different scenarios, this kind of situation show up. Basically, my question is, what is the principle by which, as a devotee community, you'll balance the need of different devotees, especially when it's hard to have all of them be satisfied. And oftentimes also there's devotees in different stages of their Krishna consciousness or different stages of life, even in that sense. And what is the principle by which we try to balance needs, especially when they sometimes are not fully aligned with each other as a community? It's kind of a vague question, but I'm just looking for the principle, and then we can apply the principle and figure out each situation individually.
So it's such an insightful and important question. Thank you very much for asking it. I probably gave instructions about building community and management in general. Some of my favorites, which I've tattooed to the inside of my eyelids. One is figuratively. He told Karandar Prabhu, who he was a young man, but he emerged as a really powerful leader. He was a Kshatriya type person. And when asked, that used to be Shastrasar. He said you should create an environment in which devotees do service was individual, spontaneous, and voluntary. Individual means everyone has a taste for doing a specific kind of devotional service. Spontaneous and voluntary. And he said you should always create a fresh challenge so that devotees will want to rise up and meet it. Those two things go together really well. And creating an environment in which devotees encourage one another is uplifting. Nirkula and I have noticed, we noticed once when we were giving away awards, and a lot of kids were getting awards, and when the kids would get awards, the other kids would really sincerely clap for them. And we thought, this is a good culture, when we learn to appreciate the service of other devotees. In general, the most important principle is inculcation. Can you look up the word? It's a very important principle for advancing in anything or bringing a community to a common cause and a common attitude. Who's got the mic over here?
Inculcate is a verb, and it means to enforce or stamp upon the mind, especially by admonitions or forcible statement. And it's from Latin inculcatus, which is a past participle of inculcare, which means to force upon, insist, stamp in, impress, or tread down.
Not the exact definition I was looking for. Is there a different one in yours? No, I mean, it's fine. It's one of them, but just the way it's worded.
There's a definition that says it means to tread upon, force upon, or impress.
The context in which I use it is that you have to repeat the principle again and again and make it a clear you have to impress it upon oneself and the community again and again what the principle is. There's another principle called the Jericho principle. It comes from the Bible. When there was a group building a wall, the wall of Jericho. Any Christians in here? Then, good, I can say whatever I want. Their leader, it was a difficult task, so their leader would come every 30 days and remind them of the mission, why they were building the wall. And there's a spiritual leader that I appreciate, and he wrote it in one of his books. And he talked about how if you have a goal, if you have an attitude that you want everyone to imbibe, then you have to bring it up regularly or inculcate it. For instance, you'll see in some communities there's a sense of selfless service, humility. That's because the leader is mentioning it again and again as a priority. And so, in general, bringing up the principle and presenting it, for instance, something we say here at ISV regularly, it's not what you do, it's how you do it that counts. As there have been communities and times in the past when we didn't take care of people as much as we should have for sake of just advancing the mission. And people got left behind or felt left out. It's more important to consider how we're treating people and how they're feeling. And just taking time to encourage one another. We embarked on a project. It's just a little thing, but it represents this mood. I saw in the airline, we were flying on one flight. I forget what airline it was. Maybe it was United, but I haven't seen it since. They handed us a little packet with 5 perforated cards you could pull out, and then you could write on it something laudatory about any of the people on the plane that had served you, and then you could give it to them. Like, thank you very much, you really took care of us, and then you kind of hand it to them on the way out. We're having some of those made. I think Prabhu went to get married, and he's making them in India, and he's going to bring them back. But we'll have those to hand out. It represents something that if you see somebody doing something, like if Akshara Nirtai's out of the room right now, he jumps up for leadership and cleaning the kitchen, and he gets other people involved. It's an example. It's worth mentioning to him that's really nice what you're doing. And if we get in a culture of that, catch people doing something right and appreciating them, then it creates a wave that goes through the community that becomes the principle. And please, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I think everything you said made perfect sense, and I think within devotee communities, that's how I also think about how, like, an ideal model for cultivating a healthy devotee community. So second, slightly orthogonal part is then, how does the role of people who are new, and not just new, but maybe those who have been for a long time, but whose Shraddha is not necessarily as strong. Like, there's categories of people who may be more on the peripheries at first. How do we think about incorporating them into this model? Because I know for some people, and just they may not feel inspired to do service, but they still have some connection to Krishna. And how do we cultivate? This is just one narrow aspect of the question. Generally speaking, how does the principle also apply to those who are maybe more on the peripheries? And one specific example may be those who may not have an inclination to do service, but still have some connection to Krishna, if that makes sense. I don't know if that question makes sense.
Makes a lot of sense. It's called the fan the spark principle. When you see a little spark anywhere, fan it. Just try to get it bigger. And wherever you see it, then fan it. If we look at a whole project we're involved in Sankirtan, is concentric circles. You see the biggest circles there, and outside that circle is everybody in the world. And then inside that large circle, then there's people maybe that just happened to walk by the Harinam and they stopped. Or they just happened to walk in the temple because somebody invited them. Which, just a short anecdote. In the old days, you want to hear an old days story? Nicole's looking at her watch. We got to go. And we used to, at the Sunday program at our other temple, we'd have this, Ramananda was a witness, he'll tell you. We used to have half the Sunday feast, we'd give a lecture and we'd talk about how beneficial it is to give knowledge to society. And then we'd take an intermission and say, by the way, we have cars waiting outside. Anybody who'd like to go out and experience what it's like for the next 45 minutes, you just sign this clipboard and you can jump in a car and drive away. And half the audience would walk out and get in a car and drive away. So, and go on Sankirtan. And one day, when they came back and we'd interview them all and say, how was it? Everyone was ecstatic. And one of them said, well, I just came here because my friend invited me. He said, I'm an atheist. But I went to door and I sold a Bhagavad Gita. But besides the story, inside the first circles, people just stop in. And then you get concentric circles going further and further to the center. And somebody might just stop in. Somebody then might get interested in coming again. That's the next circle. They come twice or 3 times or more. And then the next circle inside, they might say, well, can I move some chairs? And after that, they might inquire, like, how do I chant? You can make a lot of concentric circles. And to answer your question, if we're appreciative of whatever segment they're in, whether they're on the complete outside, we can see them vidya vinaya sampane and act accordingly towards them as spiritual souls. We are enjoined not to try to induce people to take Krishna consciousness who are not interested. We're asked by the Bhagavatam to leave them alone. Let them come on their own free will to the next stage. But at every level, we can always give some encouragement. Ishvaratar dineshu balisheshu dusatsucha prema maitri kipopeksha yakaroti samadhyamaha. That describes how we're supposed to interact with the different levels of people. The people who are very open and innocent, you pour in as much mercy as possible. Towards the devotees, you make friendship, appropriate friendship, whether they're seniors or at the same level or just beginning. You have to make friendship, but appropriately. For people who are inimical and don't like Hare Krishna, you just like, very well, next time. And for Krishna, we develop prema. So those are the 4 levels. Thank you, Gopal. Dear Srila Prabhupada, dear Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Shri Shri Panchatattva, Shri Shri Radha Madan Mohan, Shri Shri Lakshmi Nrsingadev. If you so desire, please let us be encouraging to all living beings as Krishna is to us, as indicated in the Gayatri mantra, Prachodayat, which means that Krishna tries to encourage every living being. Please let us also overcome small differences through heartfelt, open communication. May we always take care of those who come close to Krishna consciousness by encouraging them, and may we also encourage ourselves when we feel down and unqualified. May we tolerate that and keep going based on Krishna's directives that anyone who continues on this path, Sri Prambhavati Dharmatma, will be fully successful. Thank you for considering our request and for tolerating my longer and longer prayers every time. Everyone agrees with this prayer, in whole or in part. Please unmute and say Hare Krishna. Vanchakalpadabhishya kripasinabhe vachapatitanam pavanibhyo vaishnavebhyo namah. Prem Nam, can I talk to you for a second? Prem Nam Prabhu. Can I just talk to you for a second?